Right, so March update. Just gonna shut my barn door behind me. The wind don't come in so much. Right, so we're actually at my house. So my little laundry's behind. Ignore the tarpaulin. I'll redo the roof. So we have been on the road. We've clocked up about 300 miles at the moment. I'm trying to think the places I've been. Been to Malvern. I went to a supercar event at is it 5 zeros? 5 zeros? I don't know, maybe something like that, or I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, we did a supercar event, that was pretty cool. In Sharpness Docks, just out and about really, clocking up some miles. And obviously Friday I'm doing wheels day, so we've been getting a few teething problems. The big one up here at the front has been the rockers have been chucking a bit of oil out of the old filter style caps I had, this style. More for the fact that obviously there's rockers directly underneath them and there wasn't a baffle in there, so they were chucking oil out, which was really annoying because it's going straight on the headers and all down the block and down the chassis and onto the floor. So it was quite stinky to drive because obviously it's cooking a bit of oil off the headers. So we whipped off the rockers and made some simple baffles to go underneath, just some baffle plates really. And that mostly cured it, but I was still getting a little bit of oil flick up there because obviously like the rockers are underneath, they're pinging oil up, especially when you're up at, doing 70 on the motorway or something. So I didn't realise how easy it'd be just to buy different caps that would actually have breathers on them. And I've routed them to a little breather tank over here. I'm gonna redo the pipes, not 100% happy with them, but I haven't got any 12mm copper pipe here to make some nice bends, so we'll sort that. So that's happy as it is at the moment. I'm trying to think of other issues I've had up this end. None really. We've been, like, the engine runs sweet as a nut. I'll probably figure something, come back. The next big issue we've had has been with the rear caliper on this side, the driver's side. So that decided it wanted to continuously leak. So I stripped him, obviously I rebuilt him when I was building the car. I don't know how much you can see, so you can see a nice shiny new caliper on that side. I was cheap, I didn't do the other side. Don't hate me. So I rebuilt both the back calipers and that side has been absolutely fine, no problem whatsoever. This side seemed to just leak, so I bought another seal kit, made sure the inside was as clean as possible, because there was only one side that was leaking because they're dual pot Volvo calipers. So rebuilt him again, still continued leaking. And then I thought, sod this, I'm buying a new caliper, we're just doing it properly again. But I realised how cheap and easy calipers were to get for this. I'd have just done a pair and bought a pair of brand new ones. But whatever. We wonder if the pot, because I bought a kit that came with 4 new pots, for both sides and stuff. I wonder if that one pot wasn't like perfectly round, if it had a slight, misshape to him. But like when I rebuilt it, it like slid in so easy. It just was like and popped straight in. It's beautiful. But whatever. I wasn't happy. The only thing is, this new caliper, I bought new brake pads with him. I put all the retainers and stuff on it, but he rattles. My finger's on the caliper. That's the caliper. Sorry, not the caliper. That's the one. That's the pad. So you get that when you're driving along at the moment, which is quite annoying. I noticed that the pads, instead of having like a hole, a pair of holes at either end that the pin slides through, they were like slots, like quite long slots, and they're rattling on the slots, which is quite annoying. So I need to buy another set of new calipers, pads, and change those. That's been one of the other biggest griefs. I don't know if I showed you my mess I made down here. When I did the transmission lines and got Paul to make me some nice pipes, I said to him, everything stays within the chassis rail. So obviously there's a rail that runs underneath that edge. So I said, everything stays in there. And turns out they don't. Turns out the tunnel slightly bonks in. So I wasn't going to cut the pipes, so I just cut a slot, and currently I've just taped it, and I will sort that. But then there's quite a lot of tape in places because because the oil hitting the headers has been creating a lot of smoke. I've now chased, well, not smoke, it's been like, you know, a bit of a whiff. I've now chased any gaps and holes and been filling them in. That rubber we will neaten up a lot more. This is all just more temporary at the moment. So probably get 1,000 miles on it, and then I'll take it off the road for a quick month or something and do a little list of jobs, like replacing that the power steering. I don't know if I've said we reckon it's got in the motor, it's got a short in it, because it works perfectly turning left, but the second you turn it right, it obviously like trips or arcs or something, and then turns the little ECU off, well, the main ECU for it, and then just turns off. So I've just unplugged it because it's annoying, because especially if I drive up the drive and turn left off the top of the drive, power steering, and the next turn you make you don't. But that's all fine, because I mean ultimately it's on an Escort quick rack, so it's not going to cause any problems. I don't know if I said I cut a hole there so I could get to the other side of the, so I get to the dipstick for the transmission, because where I placed it in the car ended up becoming very inaccessible. So I've bought another dipstick that I'm going to cut down, and I might just put it into the car on the inside. I haven't 100% decided yet what I'm going to do with that, but I will make a much easier solution. The torque converter lock works perfectly. You sort of have to get up to about between 45 and 50, and then you can engage it, and it's weird, I don't really feel anything change, but then say you get to like 60 with it off, like 60 is 3000 RPM, and then if I engage it, I can't say that I noticed the RPM drop so much, but then 70, 75 still seems to be about 3000 RPM, so it's doing something. And ultimately, when you come off the power and hit about 50 to 45, you feel it shift down out of it again, or if you turn it off when you're up at like 60, you feel it come down a gear and the revs go back up. So it does something. It's mystical, I don't know how it works. I'm pretty sure only a handful of people understand how automatic gearboxes work, and I ain't one of them. Put my mirror in, that's quite nicely tucked up there. Oh, I've got my steering wheel loop little hook there. The steering wheel's fitted because I push the car in and out of the garage, more for my neighbours, so they don't have to listen to it fire up in here. So I can push it up the drive just a little bit, so the exhaust will pass the house and the fence, so it's not so much of a tunnel. We were having a fuel tanky leak, not physically out the tank, out of the filler cap. So I haven't got my magic broomsticks on to hold the boot on my back. So I contacted like AliSport and stuff and talked about cutting this one off, one new one on. Obviously I could have talked to Bennett Built, but I've got a friend that works at AliSport, so it's just easy then to get stuff there and get it back, whereas Graham's quite a long way out for me just to poodle there. But chatting to the engineer at work, he said about putting like maybe a piece of rubber or something in it, and he gave me some vulcanized cork to give it a go, which is working, it is sealing it up. But if you look in there, you can see the indentation that the top of the filler neck is actually making. It's actually further in than where the O-ring was, so the O-ring was doing nothing, which is why it was leaking so much. So that problem's solved. I need to get a bit of rubber because that cork is swelling, but for right now that seals and doesn't leak, which is nice. I've realised, so right now the gauge is telling me my fuel tank's empty, but when I've looked in there, I probably have about 5 litres kicking about at the bottom, where I under-measured the sender length, but I kind of did that on purpose because I thought I'd rather it be slightly too short than slightly too long. If it was slightly too long, it wouldn't fit. So that is what it is. It's got to go back to. It's going to go back to Bennett Built anyway on Tuesday next week. I'm not too happy with the movement for the back axle. It's getting a bit bound up on the points where the rose joints for the ladder bars meet the chassis. They're not 100% 90 degrees, and it's causing the back axle to get a bit unhappy. So he's going to sort that for me, which is awesome. that bound up back axle is why at the moment the car rides a bit funny on the front, because it's pushing a bit of weight over onto the sort of, the back end is like pushing over, and it's pushing this corner down. I mean, we could see it on the corner weights, but I couldn't really understand what it was, so I drove the car and realised, hang on a minute, it's a bit up at the back axle. So yeah, that's kind of about it at the moment. Obviously I haven't fitted my new air intake and stuff, because I'm going to sort of not quite ram intake it, but like I'm gonna take a big I can't remember what the intake is. I'm gonna take a big tube, alley tube, down to one of these sides. I'm thinking that side, and have it sort of grab fresh air from one of these sides before the radiator. You can see this one here is blanked up, and this is because this is an early grill, or an early whole front grill. But I managed to pick up when I was at Malvern Auto Jumble a later style one. Later style, which has like a fresh air intake for obviously for the cabin, but that'll do perfectly for getting air into the carb, or in that direction anyway. And plus, then you're not hoovering up hot air from the engine bay, because the engine bay does get quite warm. We seem to run at a nice temperature though. The old when I first did the first 100 miles, the car was only getting up to sort of 60 degrees, which is perfect, or 65 sort of thing. But that's because that's where I had the fan set to. I'll turn the fan up now by another 10 degrees to 75, and again it just stays there. The old electric water pump is fantastic. It is really on it. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it's useful because you can leave it off and do your first couple of miles to get the block to warm up, and then ping it on and start cooling everything down. But yeah, loving it. Trying to think of more things to tell you. I've got another bonnet, which I think I've already said about. Need to start work on that to swap this one out, because this one's obviously, it looks a bit bonky. And then I can cut a big hole in this one and put a big scoop in it. But yeah, this weekend, Friday, wheels day, and then Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be work on the garden, because my garden's a mess. Probably because I've invested the last 2 years of my life into this solely. So let's sort that out. Oh, and I broke one of my badges. That's proper power. That is when you snap a badge. Either that or I'd fitted it too tight, which is more likely. But yeah, I don't know how many more videos I can make on this really. I might have to soon drop this down to just like updates or random updates, I don't know. The 100D is going to get some attention soon, and I do a couple of videos on that. That's a cool car as well. It's probably not going to use much this year because I want to use just this, but we'll see what happens. And as you can see, the exhausts are sort of changing colour now, which they look awesome. They look really good. Did a service after 100 miles to dump the oil, replaced it, so it's on its second oil change, no, third oil change, yeah, because I did the first oil change after we're breaking the motor in, running the engine up. Now we've done one at 100 miles, now we'll go all the way up to 900 before I do another one, well, another 900 miles, so that equals 1,000, before we start cranking the power up and see what really happens. But it's all booked into race at Santa Pod in May for nostalgia. Yeah, some bodywork bits need doing. Need to get Gaz out here. Quite a lot of bodywork bits need doing. Hopefully gonna get it in for a bit of a photo shoot soon as well with a friend, and that'd be cool. Right, sorry for a bit of a short update with not much to say, but it is what it is. Right, take it easy.